And welcome back. This is the 7th video in the series. This is the introduction to Flow for the Flow Certified Professional online training course for 2020. And in this section, we're going to actually look at a little bit about the origins of Flow. So we're going to look at the inspiration for Flow, a little bit about the world view that we're coming from with Flow, and that we want to be able to create duplicatable results, and that these tools, techniques, and models and frameworks and mindset have actually been used for a long time. A lot of people will look at this and, oh, this is so simple. Simple isn't easy. And what we're sharing with you as best practice has been forged in the fires of real world work, whether it was product development or project management or whatever, leading companies, leading divisions. This has all been tried and tested. It works. And then we're going to have some recommendations about what we would want you to read, of course, for Flow. And then a little bit of word about experience and certifications. The inspiration of Flow is based on observed human history and nature, recorded wisdom, and the history that spans the last 3,500 years. So that's quite a bit a ways back in human history. And so the timeless source that gave us the foundation for Flow is also the same source for the Judeo-Christian worldview and work ethic. Same source for Flow. So the frameworks, models, mindset of Flow just aren't empty theories or words, logos as we would call it, and just sitting there on a page, but rather they are action-packed. And if you know a little bit of Greek, that would be rhema, or word in action. And so these are action-packed words that can breathe life into the unlikeliest of teams, projects, processes, programs, portfolios, products, organizations. And what's interesting is that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, Special Forces, uses a variant of VSPT for their elite leadership training and teams. And I'll share a little bit about that as well. So, for the last 25 years, we have a lot of evidence from real world fires of projects, programs, product development, management, leadership, portfolio governance, and even organizational and executive leadership. And this isn't just something that Ted and I were able to do because we're extremely gifted or anything like that. A lot of other people have replicated exactly what we do with Flow, and surprise, surprise, they get the same remarkable results. And so it is duplicatable. I like to address enthusiasm. Sometimes I am so sold myself on Flow that it's not even a question in my mind, does this work? It works. And Zig Ziglar shared way back in the late 70s, early 80s, the last 4 letters of enthusiasm, IASM, stands for I am sold myself. You can't be enthusiastic about Flow if you're not sold on it. It's that simple. And I've had a lot of people go, yeah, it might work. Let's experiment with it. Or things like that. That's a big difference between, okay, yeah, maybe we'll give it a try, and this works. Okay? And we want to share the great results. So a lot of times, I've gotten feedback that, oh, hey, you're just trying to sell us stuff. No, not really. You can choose for yourself. You can read our books and you can watch our videos, but it's up to you to decide. Am I going to give this a try? Am I going to take it out of the books, out of the videos, out of the blog posts, and actually start trying it out yourself? And as you gain experience and success with this, and it builds up, you're gonna want to share the great results too. And would you really want to work with a coach, a trainer, or a mentor that isn't sold? I know I wouldn't. And so, when we talk about sales and marketing, you'll just have to give me a pass. I have an MBA in marketing, and a lot of that is just interwoven throughout everything that we do. Ted came from a sales background, sales and marketing background. So that is interwoven in everything that we do. So if you're an engineer and you're feeling like, oh, they're just trying to sell us a bill of goods, I've worked with tons of engineers. I've worked with engineering teams. We get the same results. Okay? And so I really, it doesn't affect me whether or not you think I'm trying to sell you something or not. Whether you become enthusiastic, that is an active choice that you'll make, and it will become easier and easier over time as you get more and more success with both the tool sets and the mindset that we're talking about here. And as I said, when I've worked with something for so long, apologies if the flow training, coaching, and mentoring materials ends up feeling like a sales and marketing pitch because of how you lead. You see, people don't want to change their minds, and this is a key to leadership and sales. People don't like to change their minds once they've made up their mind. But they're willing to make a new decision, hopefully based on new information. So if you have new information and they're intellectually honest, they'll go, oh, okay, well, maybe this is something I don't know about, and I'm willing to make a new decision based on new information. If you're not able to do that, we probably won't be able to work together. But if you're feeling like this is sales and marketing, I'm only going to apologize a little bit. Because take this in its entirety and in its whole context and try to work with it from that perspective. Because, sorry people, everybody is selling something. Whether it's you're exchanging your time to your employer or you're selling products, services, or results, everybody's selling something. And that should be a really big aha moment, even for engineers. If you're an engineer and you just think, oh, well, I come and do my job and I trade my time, and yeah, you're still selling something. So I'm trying to shift your mindset a little bit, and hopefully you'll become equally inspired and enthusiastic like all of the other flow practitioners who have been able to achieve the same results. They're equally excited. If you're not equally interested in being inspired or becoming more enthusiastic in the results that you deliver, then the wisdom shared in all the flow materials may not be for you. I get that. That's okay. I'm not offended. It may be a cultural difference too. Remember, I'm half American. Even though I'm half Finnish, I'm still half American. I grew up in the States. I'm a victim of my environment. So there can be cultural differences here too. And so, it's, to me, it can be a little bit frustrating. So hopefully I'm not being too sharp or like sandpaper right now. But flow works across cultures. I've used it in Asia, I've used it in Europe, I've used it in the States, and I've gotten the same results, irregardless of national culture, business culture, doesn't matter. Flow works, flow cuts across culture. Now, recommended reading, I actually have a very long list of books especially if you want to become a certified Scrum Master, that you'll probably want to read. But for this course, I would highly recommend reading Nehemiah Effect and Flow, obviously. Our books are available online at Amazon.com and 1,800 other online retailers. Now, those of you who are taking the FCP course, you'll have access to the PDFs for both books, so you can download it and read it on your computer. I know a lot of people like to get a hard copy and just write notes in it. I do that quite often, or highlight, especially if it's a book that's very similar to what we're doing and what we're teaching. For us in Flow, we've come to the conclusion that work experience is most important. Demonstrated results are most important. Now, it's not required, but it would be nice to have if you can get a certified Scrum Master or a professional Scrum Master or equivalent. Certified Scrum Product Owner or a professional Scrum Product Owner or equivalent. If you are able to get some kind of product management or development experiences, end-to-end life cycle management, that can be really good. Also, now the Agile purists are going to howl with either derision or anger, I'm not sure which. You should get traditional waterfall experience as well. And in one of the videos further down, I'm going to explain why I believe it's important to have PMP or equivalent. Now, it's not required, but the PMP is the granddaddy of them all. It's way over 1 million people have been certified as PMPs. I think it's like 1.2 million or more. I haven't even kept up with the numbers. Last time I checked, there was close to maybe 900,000 active PMPs. And so when you look at Scrum Alliance, last I checked, there were 450,000 people. If you look at scrum.org, I believe they had come up to around 400,000 people. Even if you put those two together, they're still not as big as what they have with PMP. Plus, PMI recently bought Disciplined Agile. So that should be taken seriously if you're a purist, because that's only going to increase the ability of the traditionalists to be able to actually deliver something. Their numbers aren't that great. We've talked about that already. It's down around 14 to 16% success rate. And it hasn't changed in like the last half decade, regardless of what surveys you're looking at. The numbers are very consistent. And then for Scrum, they're up around 42%. So almost 2.5, 3 times better than the traditionalists. So for me, when I look at how companies are trying to organize the work and get the products developed and things like that, sometimes I just sort of sigh, because they're stuck back down at the 14% level when they could be enjoying the results up here at 42% success rate for their projects. And that's on time, on budget, delivering 80% of the scope. That's the definition that's out there, especially for the traditionalists. So it's something to think about. But again, experience, battle scars, and being able to duplicate what we're doing and create those results, that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. I've seen too many people with certifications where they couldn't punch their way out of a wet paper bag if they tried, to quote my dad. And so I think it's really important. And even having an MBA, that's not going to be an absolute, hey, this person can deliver. So it's the experience, it's the results, and it's the battle scars that in Flow we are looking for. Okay, so that's why we've opened this up. We don't have any required reading anymore. We don't have any other required certification prerequisites or anything like that. It's still open for everybody. So, to close out this video. We're about 14% complete, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed this up here, but at the recap page in each video, I will be having the percentage complete. Now, this is 14% of the slides are done. Time-wise, it's not going to necessarily track, but at the end, on the average, we'll be right. And that should be an aha moment for people who are doing program management and portfolio leadership. So on the average, we're about 14% done. We went through the flow inspiration and the worldview. We actually mentioned where the origins of flow came from in an earlier video, earlier in the introductions. And the worldview, for me, I know that there's a ton of worldviews out there. And if you don't accept our worldview, that's okay. I don't have any problem with that. And you just need to understand when we keep getting the same results over and over again, that tends to strengthen what we believe about our worldview. You can have your own, and that's fine. And I don't necessarily want you to agree with my worldview. But I hope you're tolerant enough to be able to go, oh, maybe there's something more to this that you might have missed. So we won't go too deep into tolerance. Again, most importantly, this looks simple. It just isn't easy, but it's forged in the fires of real-world projects, programs, portfolios, and it's duplicatable. I've had too many people. We've had over 4,000 people trained in portions or totally in flow. We've had well over 200 people certified as flow professionals, flow certified coaches, and flow certified trainers. And again, on the recommendations, there's no required reading and there's no required experience or certifications, but we prefer that you have enough experience in business that you can take what we're teaching and go, oh, I get this. Okay? So the application of this is battle scars and experience are most important.